everyone, it's Annette with ASCardDesign. Welcome back to my channel and to my studio. Today we're going to make a really cute card. I'm going to switch to the down camera and we'll just get started. We're going to be making like a celebration card for pet adoption. And I'm going to be using these dies, and unfortunately I don't have the name of where I got these, but I did get them off Amazon. I just did a search for dog paw print dies, and this came up, and I've had them for quite a while, but a friend of mine recently was celebrating her dog's gotcha day, so I thought it'd be fun, and I made her a card, and I just wanted to recreate that because it was so much fun. But I'm going to do this one a little bit different than the one I made for her. So I didn't plan this card out, so I'm not sure if everything's going to run smoothly, but we'll get through it. I'm going to start with a panel, and this is just a quarter sheet of cardstock, and it started out 8.5 by 11, so it's it's just a quarter sheet, 4.5 by 5, or I'm sorry, 4.25 by 5.5. Okay, and then we're going to use this fun embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder called Firework, or Firework Trio to be specific, and it's from Altenew. All right, and we're going to first emboss this panel. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Let's get started. We're going to bring in the big shot, and I might have to pan out just a little bit and show more of the desk to get this into the view. And we are going to run this through. I think for the 3D embossing, I only need the bottom platform and my top plate over the embossing folder. So we'll see. And I'm first going to give this cardstock a spray of rubbing alcohol. And this just helps loosen up the fibers. I'm going to spray it off to the side here. I'm going to do both sides. And then we'll just lay it in. And we'll just put it right there in the middle. And I like to just get it. It's kind of hard because these are the same width as the platform, but it runs smoother, runs through more smoothly if you have it turned to the side a little bit. But I think that's going to be a little hard to do. And as you can see, it's just going through way too easily. So I do need to add, let me try adding a shim. I'm just going to add a shim to the top. Still too smooth. So you just want to keep on adding things. Now this particular embossing machine does say to use the platform and let's see, what does it say? I may be doing this wrong. 3D embossing impressions. The platform, the embossing folder, and the top plate. But as you just saw, that did not have enough pressure. So I'm going to add another layer. Let's just keep giving it a try. And I think that has a little bit of a grip going through. I can just open it carefully and see. And yeah, it worked. So that is what we have. So it just adds a lot of depth and dimension. There we go. I think you can see it better that way. All right. So while we have this out, I want to go ahead and die cut my little pieces of these little doggies. Okay. So we're going to use, I thought it'd be cute to just use this little dog because he's kind of a universal looking dog, and one of the bones. And we're going to do the dog in black, and I might do a couple layers of him, and then we'll do the bone in this cream color, and I'm going to ink blend it, excuse me, ink blend it a little bit. I wonder if I can get both of these on there. I think I can. So we'll just go ahead and run those through, bring them back. And let me show you this cute little pup. Let's see. There you go. He has a little bit of detail. So I think I'm going to cut one more of him out. And the bone also has some detail. See that? And we'll do a little ink blending on that too in just a moment. But let's just cut one more of the dog. That way I can layer him and he'll have a little bit of dimension. You could also use foam tape, but I kind of like to do it this way. It uses up the scrap cardstock and it's just an easy way to add dimension. This guy stayed in the die, as you can see, but they're easy to pop out. That's what these little holes are for in the dies, and you just take a little pick tool and just poke the holes. He'll come right out. He'll just fall right out, just like that. Okay. So we are done with, I believe we're done with the embossing machine. So let me just get these out of the way. These aside here. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to put some color on this background, and I'm going to be bringing in my sticky mat from Simon Says Stamp, and this is just a piece of parchment paper that I store it in, and we're just going to put this down on the surface. Let me zoom back in, and we will stick the card panel right back on there, and I'm going to I want the raised side up. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure that that's adhered down. And then I thought it'd be fun just to kind of use these two colors, a green and a blue. They're both from Ginakdesigns. This one is grass green, and this one is blue denim. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do ink to paper. Okay, and I'm just going to lightly go over this because the raised pieces will catch the ink, and I'm just going to lightly brush over just like that. We'll do a little green, and then we'll do the same with the blue. I'm going to go in here and maybe up here in the middle, and I really think that's all I'm going to do right now. I like the way that is coming out. I just wanted to add a little bit of color. And then while I have the mat, I'm just sticking my little bone here to the mat. And I'm trying to find some brown ink. I have a brown blending brush. Let me just see if I have enough ink on here already from whatever project I was using last. Just give that a little bit of color. And then that's what we have. And I think that's going to be fine. All right, let's get the ink out of the way. We'll go ahead and let me grab a little towel here. This is just a damp chamois towel that I'm using, and I'll just wipe the mat down. And that is good to go for next time. We'll get this out. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this panel down. So this is going to be on the front of our card base, but I don't want it to cover the whole card base. So I'm going to cut it down to a matte size, and that is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. So let me grab my guillotine cutter and put that up here. And we'll just measure, instead of just chopping it all off, I'm just going to go a little bit over the 4. Here's the 4 mark. I'm going to go a little bit over on this end, and then I'll flip it, and then I'll take it to the 4. Like that. And then the same with this. Right now it is almost 5 1/2, so we'll just bring it down a smidge. Very little, and then we'll turn it, and then we'll take it to 5 1/4. Okay. Then I guess I do need to bring my die cutting machine back, because the next thing we're going to do is we are going to cut out this die that I'll put in the paw prints. and this is so, so cute. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this guy back in. Zoom back out. And we are going to, I want to position this, kind of on an angle, just like that. And I don't even think I'm going to tape it down. I think we're going to be fine. And even though I've embossed this and it's raised and I'm running it through the embossing machine again, which has, you know, rollers, it's going to smash it down a little bit, but it won't totally flatten it out. You will still feel texture. So just keep that in mind. That's how you can do these techniques. It will not completely flatten out that texture. And let's see, I think all the little pieces fell out. So there's our little paws. Okay. Then I know it's kind of hard to see, but we're going to glue this to a navy panel, and then that'll help those paw prints to stand out a little bit more. For the die, all you just need to do is poke these out. You might need to take a little pokey tool again and you know, poke out all the little pieces, but I'll do that later over the trash can because it will make a mess. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this back layer down just a little bit. And I'm just gonna shave it off a little bit on all sides. Or maybe just the two sides, because I just wanted to cover the back enough so you can see the dog prints. So that's all I need to do for that. And so let's go ahead and glue that down. Let's glue it, let's see. We're gonna just position it like that, and we'll just glue it down like that. So what I want to do is, let's get this. I don't want to glue obviously over the dog paws, so I'm just going to add my glue and just kind of go around. There's probably an easier way to do this, but this is where we are right now. Like I said, I did not practice this card ahead of time. I did not do this with my friend's card, but I think it's going to just work out just fine. Okay. All right, so right now we have this, and then this will go on our card base. Okay, and I think it might be fun too to get some of the blue ink again and just kind of go over, since I kind of cut this away where I really can't put a matte layer down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in this scrap piece of paper, and I'm just going to tape this so it's right on the fold, and I'm going to try to keep my head out of the shot. Okay, and just give that a good press. And then we'll go ahead and take the ink, and I'm just going to go along the edges. And if it leaves a little bit of white, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. That is a first for me. I've not done anything like that on the card base directly, but I think it will work. Once we glue this down, it will have a nice blue border around it. So, you know, sometimes you just have to experiment and try things. You just don't know. All right, let me grab, I'm just gonna grab a little piece of low-tack tape, tape that shut, and then we'll glue this down. And we'll just kind of eyeball that around all the edges. Okay. And then I want to take these two little dogs and I just want to glue those together. And these are really easy to do. They're easy to stack. Just add a little bit of glue, not a whole lot, but just all around it. And then you just stack them, and then you just kind of work your fingers all the way around to get all the edges even. And now he has a little bit of dimension. Okay. So we might put him like that, and his little bone, I'm going to grab my reverse tweezers. His little bone maybe right like that. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bit better. So we might set him like that. And I also wanted to do the greeting. So here is the cute little greeting. Happy Gotcha Day. I made this on a Word document. I just did a nice font that I like and printed it out on cardstock, and I die cut it out with a circle die that I had. And then these little pieces are actually leftovers from a die, just like the paw prints when you punch out the little pieces. I have a heart die, and it punches out a bunch of little hearts, and I keep them in a container. So I just grabbed a couple red ones and put those down, and they have like a little shimmer on them. So now is where you just want to look for placement of things. And I could put that there and the dog down here. I think I like that. I think I like that placement. And we'll go ahead and glue this directly onto the, yeah, we'll go ahead and glue it directly down. So we'll just put that right about like that. And I am going to tip this just to make sure it's straight. That looks good. And we'll put the stone owl on there. And then let's go ahead and put the dog down first. This is a real quick, simple card. If you have a cat or dog or any kind of animal cards, you know, maybe, or dies, you might even have a ferret. I don't know, you know, you could just do anything really. Get this guy down. And then we'll get the bone on there. So cute. And we'll put that this way. And then, of course, everything needs to dry a little bit longer, but that is our finished card. Isn't it cute? I just love it. It's a side opening, like a book opening card. It's a US A2 size card, side folding. And that's it. I just love this. And you could even add some Wink of Stella to make some of the paws shimmer and shine, but I'm just gonna leave this card the way it is. That's it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on this. You know, I could have done a better job, but it's okay. I think it's an easy card for me to recreate and, you know, nail it a little bit better, but I do like the way it came out. So that is the finished card. If you like this video, and I hope you did, I hope you give me a thumbs up right there. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. I go live on Wednesday nights, and those, you know, you never know what will happen on a live. So those are a lot of fun. And then on Sundays at 1 p.m., I always have a scheduled video for you. Those times are Eastern. Until next time, have a great week, and I hope to see you again. Bye.